YouTube is always a little unpredictable. But I got a notification last night that they had taken down one of my videos. Just removed it. Which in itself isn't surprising, because a lot of times some of the things that I say, I'm sure just irritate the hell out of them. I purposely sometimes push them a little. So I thought, well, okay, no big deal. And then I got to looking at it, and the video that they took down was one I put up at least 2 years ago, where I had modified a bullet mold using a fly cutter on the drill press, shorten the bullet mold down so that I could make a bullet to use in the 351. And for some reason, all of a sudden, after all this time, this one doesn't meet their guidelines. Well, their guidelines, it's a very flexible thing. So anyway, they took that down after they reviewed it, and they reviewed it again, and they said, oh, it's still horrible, traumatizing video. Which is funny because, there's no firearms in it. There's not actually even a cartridge in it. I do show a close-up of the bullet, that resulted from shortening the mold. I don't know how this is so upsetting to them, a chunk of lead. Though, California has got this whole lead deal. I think part of it is, because really, if they can't control guns, they hope they control ammunition. If you can make your own bullets, they're losing control. That might be the reasoning behind it. I have no idea. Anyway, they took it down. Well, there was the right to appeal it again, so I appealed it again. We'll see what happens. But it's that kind of nonsense that makes YouTube so unpredictable, because you're dealing with an artificial intelligence in the first place that's kind of dumb. And once it gets past that, then you're dealing with people with an agenda and with their own personal prejudices against this or that, so it's funny. I know just the other day I saw where some of the people that work for YouTube that review videos for this kind of thing, they were actually suing Google because of the traumatic experience they go through. Evidently I traumatized somebody in this. It's a funny deal. But it made me think too, like at one time, when I first got that 300 Savage, I put up a video called The Elegant Savage. That immediately got demonetized. They didn't take it down, but they demonetized it. Well, you can't really control anything there, so I just left it be. But then I started noticing that it kept creeping up. It was getting more views because people are interested in the 99. And then all of a sudden they started monetizing it again, just out of the blue. Never informed me, but I noticed it was always like in your most, the videos you make the most money on, all of a sudden it was up to like number 10. It kept creeping up. And I think since they remonetized it, out of the blue, it's made like $70 on that video. It's weird, they're very unpredictable. But I really, when they took down a video, I thought it was one, because I have of late done some rather political ones. I just, if something's on my mind, I'll talk about it. That's off my mind, I can, and that's enough. And when I first started doing that, a lot of times I thought, well, maybe I shouldn't even monetize these because there's really no point. They're going to demonetize them. But then I thought, well, I'll give them a little poke, and I monetized it anyway. And I thought, sure, it would be demonetized. Sure, they would be taken down. But no. They get tons of views, tons of likes, and I make a lot of money on them, which seems silly. I'm just talking whatever's on my mind. But they make a lot of money, which is weird, because I noticed that again now this month. I'm going to be making more than I expected, because I really don't want to make this a profitable enterprise. My theory was always, if I can pay the phone bill, okay, but it's going to go over that again, because there's a lot of those. I'll make $40 or $50 on some stupid video just talking for 5 minutes, But if I actually make a video where I'm showing somebody how to do something, or something that is important, that matters, not just political nonsense that you should already know if you're paying attention, then you'll be hard to make anything on them. But I can talk about this bullshit, and that's just perfectly fine. So it's easy enough to do if that's what they want to pay for, but it's weird. But I thought that cutting that mold down, I thought that was instructive, showing people I was doing it with that fly cutter and the drill press, a simple operation to make a bullet for an obsolete gun. I thought that was informative, but to them it was traumatizing. So we'll see. Like I say, there's an appeal deal, and I just said, I appealed it. Well, we'll see what happens, but I don't hold a lot of faith for that. I don't care if it's monetized or not, but I thought just for the information aspect, it should be out there, that you can modify a mold, shorten a mold like that. But YouTube is funny. Or the people that work for YouTube, the whole, I tell you, that's why a lot of times when I do this political stuff, I always think, I don't really care. Well, in the first place, I don't really care about politics, because it really doesn't affect me. But when I see foolishness, I tend to want to bring the foolishness up. But my theory going into it always was, if they take the video down, no big deal. If they demonetize, no big deal. If I lose my channel, no big deal. Don't really care. But that's what they want. That's what they're willing to pay for, which is just weird. Because personally, I think, you should know this stuff, this political nonsense that's going on. You should be aware of it. But there's a lot of that out there. I would sooner do videos that are a little more informative in a practical vein, but YouTube has no use for them. I just do whatever I feel like doing. Like today, I'm doing this, just to let you know that video disappeared, and we'll see what happens. But I was a little surprised even that they just didn't take it down, because there's a lot of times videos just tend to disappear quietly. This one they actually made a little noise about. But I think it's to do with the traumatized reviewers. They were suing for millions of dollars, suing Google, but and they'll probably get a payoff of some sort. It's a funny world. And YouTube doesn't help it any. It's too bad that they can't just behave responsibly, and like, if you have a set of rules, there should be things that you can't do, and but they got this whole vague deal. You never know what's going to happen. Because I say, channels disappear. All of a sudden, they will completely shut down somebody's channel out of the blue, and that could happen. And like I say, I actually kind of fully expected that to happen. That's why I do have the other channel. I expected the other channel, where I do more of the gun stuff, to get shut down. But there's a lot of the back stuff in this one from many years of videos of gun stuff. Like if they found that one upsetting to them, I got a couple hundred more back there that I'm sure would be a lot more upsetting. So they're probably going to be picking away at them too. But at least they said, yeah, they're taking it down, but that there was no strike against my channel, which they have done before. Give me a strike for some foolishness, again on a video that had been up forever. But they are an unpredictable bunch. But that's a story. She's a bit foggy, but back to work.